You know who that is.
Anthony Bourdain.
Do you know who people think it is? Jeffrey Epstein. I've had 50 DMs being like, that's a little off color. And I was like, do you think we have a pedophile? And it's like, I don't know. I obviously
put this back at them because they're still listening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's canceled. If we have just like a little, put some candles in, like a little of Epstein shrine, that's on you for tuning in. But this is Anthony Bourdain.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to feel that one a few times. I'm like, what is going on? How is that name still relevant? But yeah, anyways,
that was awkward.
Dude, we have, right? This is a streak of very close to launch date intros.
Yes.
It's Tuesday.
And
this comes out in like 7 hours.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
This is basically
live.
Time.
This is live. This is as live as it's going to get. Just coming off
Burlington,
the
Ontario.
intensive weekend, Pure Muscle and Fitness, Burlington, Ontario. Yeah. Brisbane completely sold out. If you're in Australia, don't even think about showing up. If you haven't gotten tickets, just don't even think about showing up. It's already full. It's been full forever. So July, last week of June, first weekend of July, completely sold out. Huge thanks to Mickey and Will Crozier at Nexus Performance for that. Then next live, we're looking at September 11th weekend at Genuine Athletics in Surrey, British Columbia. Make it a vacation. A lot of people travel. That's a very, very nice place to be. The next one is in Edmonton.
Just
go to
get out.
Right. Yeah. So those 2 weekends back to back, we're going to be doing Genuine Athletics with Jason Bell at in Surrey. Weekend after that is going to be the September 18th, 19th, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be at the Vault. Following up with the one we did last year. Amazing. Cody shuts down the facility. This is lower intensive too. He just got a bunch of lower body kit in as well. So that'll be great. If you guys want to get involved in the conversation, get involved, as Bax would say, get involved. Prescript Collective is up and running. It's been up and running since January. The Discord channel, the conversation, join the conversation. Prescript Collective, if you guys want to, keep abreast, if you will, legal term of the day. We've been throwing around with some bullshit law stuff we've had to deal with. If you guys want to stay on top of that and sort of join into the community aspect without sinking into one of the courses, Collective is where you'll find us on the daily.
Yep.
And L1.
Yeah, the big one.
Big L1.
Yep.
Big L1, prescript level 1, 16, minimum 16 weeks. So we're done when we're finished. It's done when it's over. But minimum 16 weeks, taught live by yours truly. Applied biomechanics, functional anatomy course. People tend to like it.
Yeah.
Historically, it's been well received. Very excited for this upcoming semester. Very excited for the new cohort coming in. You actually get access to Prescript Collective when you join for free for the entirety of your time in the course. You also get the Prescript Level 1 manual. That kicks off early June. Early June is going to be the first lecture time. So if you go to pre-script.com, you can register today. Our guest, Nathan Macintosh. I met Nathan. We go over our little meet cute story in the podcast. Stand-up comedian from Canada, East Coast. So I'll just give a prelude to how we met, and it's the most hilarious premise. Me, Nathan Macintosh, Yasser. I want to say his last name's like Martinez or something, but I don't think that's true. And Robbie Slovak. Robbie is a comedian as well, and he writes for Jon Stewart, The Daily Show, or he's a show on Apple TV now. It's not The Daily Show. He used to write for him at The Daily Show.
Don't know what Apple TV is.
It's like Apple's Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was with them at Akash Singh's wedding, also stand-up comedian. So like it was basically a game of 3 stand-up comedians making a meathead piss himself laughing in a Gurdwara in New Jersey.
That sounds hilarious.
Dude, it was the funniest sitcom I've ever been a part of. It was 3.5 hours. If you've never been to an Indian wedding, never been to a Gurdwara, the premise of me wearing basically a bandana over my head, wearing like essentially a kandura, sitting cross-legged for 4 hours. My left knee hasn't been the same since. And Nathan was at the wedding. We got to know each other a little bit, just based purely off skin tone. Like, oh, you're the other iridescent pale guy here. We actually found each other, no joke, in the shadows. So like in the parking lot, they like do this ceremony with a tuk-tuk with like a little
Tuk-tuk.
a little tuk-tuk. And it was outside and it was like the middle of the day. And me and Nathan were like, well, don't we get skin cancer? So we head off to the side. So this was released tomorrow. Come join us. We're going to be at Nathan's show at Levity Comedy Club in Hamilton this weekend, 8 p.m. He's playing another set on Saturday. So this is going to release on Wednesday. So if you're hearing this, whatever the fuck today's date is, I'm going to check this. So
18th?
is it today the 18th? So this is the 17th. It'll release the 18th. So whatever the 20th, whatever Friday is, we're going to be there. James Marshall's going to be there. Killian Hamilton's going to be there. So go obviously to see Nathan's set. And trust me, after you listen to this, you'll be fucking dying laughing. I don't know if I've laughed so hard on a podcast or period in my life. He drops a few bombs and you're just like, oh my God. But yeah, if you're in the Hamilton area, GTA area, do come hang out. We'll be there. Support Nathan's stuff. Unbelievable. Follow him on Instagram at Nathan Macintosh. So huge thanks to him for coming out while he was in town doing a run of shows. And yeah, L1 up for sale, Collective up for sale, Surrey and Edmonton up for sale. We do it?
I think that's it.
Lundy, hit it.
You're tuned in to RX Radio.
Lundy, is this rolling? It is rolling. Okay, I'm going to stop what I was about to say because that was going to be incriminating as hell. Welcome, Nathan Macintosh, to the podcast. How we met was probably the best premise of a joke that you could have because it was at Akash Singh's wedding.
Yep.
In a Gurdwara. Did I say that right? Do you know if I said that? We're both too white to know if I said that correctly.
I don't know if you said that right.
A Gurdwara?
I remember. Here's what I'm going to say that was a hot day in a tent. So
okay.
if that's what
I thought mine was like racially insensitive. Yours, you just took that.
If that's what a gurdwara is, that what you said?
Yeah, a Gurdwara.
Yeah, like basically hanging outside of a fairground.
I had no idea what to expect, and I was even more confused because there was, like I thought of this the other day. I was walking down the street in Dubai, and a hooker walked by me, and I was like, hookers, it's unspoken, but they do have a uniform. That's the only way I knew. It was like I could tell by what she was wearing that she was a hooker, a person of the night. And I was like, oh, they haven't come together, but the universe has decided that when the sun goes down, you wear this, you're a hooker. Comedians have a very similar, not similar as far as aesthetic go, but you guys have a uniform, and
Okay.
it's indiscriminate and undefined, or at least ill-defined. But I remember looking at like a van that we were all standing next to in the parking lot, and it was you, it was Yasser,
Yeah.
and there was like two more, and I was like, obviously the context of knowing Akash, the likelihood that you were comedians was very high. But the one thing I remember was Yasser was wearing custom Nike Air Force One low-cut shoes that had a depiction of a crucified Jesus on a cross with the ring of thorns. And we're at a wedding. We're at an Indian wedding, as you say, in a really hot tent.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a comedian's shoe. Like the set and setting of that footwear. Unless this is a Kanye West music video, there's no other appropriate place to wear that shoe. And it's like, these guys are comedians.
Yasser also made a point to be like, you guys see my shoes?
Did he actually?
Of course. You can't wear a shoe like that and then not have people.
Yeah.
Imagine you wear a shoe like that. You got Jesus hanging off your tongue, and you just leave, and you're like, nobody commented on my shoe. Like, that's a shoe you go, you guys have to see this.
So he's doing it now. Do you think he's doing that for the laugh, or he's doing it for like, hey, I'm not crazy, I'm doing this on purpose? Because it's almost like a low-key Ted Kaczynski if he just wears them and doesn't point them out. Imagine if he just shows up and just like, is this guy serious?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, does this guy live in the woods and send bombs to mathematicians? Whatever Ted Kaczynski sent bombs to, but I mean, many people, whatever. But yeah, no, and also I was standing by that van because I burn.
Yes.
So there was a little bit of shade in that van because it was early in the morning. So I was standing right by the van while the sun was kind of going down. Akash kept yelling at me to come dance with people in a parking lot, and I was like, dude, man, I can't, dude. I can't go to the beach. I can't even sit here for more than like 6 minutes.
Because you're Eastern Canada, right? You're Halifax?
Yeah, Halifax, yeah.
Okay. Now, Halifax or like Sackville? How close to Trailer Park Boys are we talking here?
I could drive there.
Okay.
But no, Halifax, because everybody always asks that, right? They're like, "Are you from like Port-au-Pete, whatever the hell, someplace?" Halifax, Grace Maternity Hospital, wherever the hell that is. I don't know if it's still around.
Yeah, because I remember we kept finding ourselves in the shade because they're like, "Oh, you are the Benjamin Moore color swatch of melanoma." I think that's what it says. And we picked that off the thing. It's like, "Oh, this is skin cancer," and we just kept moving because like the little tuck. Indian weddings. If you haven't, Lundy, have you been to an Indian wedding?
The little,
Wild.
They don't invite me.
Is that what it is? Insane. The little tuk was going around and everyone was unscrewing the light bulbs and screwing the light bulb in. And I'm just like, where this guy's a shade whisperer. So
man, yeah, no, I completely stayed in the shade the whole day. Cause I mean, dude, you're from Newfoundland, right?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be on like a mossy rock in the fog.
Yeah.
That's our whole lives.
Not in a fucking Gurdwara in the middle of New Jersey in Hoboken.
Yeah, on an open parking lot. And I remember seeing you because I saw the tattoo in your arm of the ship.
Yeah.
And I go, "Yo, Akash, man." I go, "Where's that dude from?" And he goes, "Canada." I go, yeah. But like, where? In Canada. He goes, "I don't know." I go, "I guarantee you he's from the East Coast." He goes, "I don't know." I go, "I guarantee you there's nobody in Manitoba gets a ship."
No. Could you imagine Saskatchewan?
Yeah,
Dog River?
Some guy just giant ship. They're like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Right here, dude. Yeah. I ride this bull every day." I go, "No, that guy's from," and I figured Nova Scotia, but then when you said Newfoundland, I was like, "Oh, that makes
same.
Makes it's the same deal."
And the worst part about that wedding is the melanoma wasn't even the worst part of the wedding. We had to sit cross-legged 3 hours. And then here's the worst part, made worse by the fact that I sat between you and Yasser. There is nothing funnier than sitting between two non-Sikh or Punjab or Indian comedians at an Indian wedding. Because, like, we all had the do-rag on and the whole scene.
I love that at the beginning of this, you're like, "I don't want to get racist."
No.
We had a do-rag on. We were sitting there like Hollywood Hulk Hogan at this bash at the beach.
Fucking right, brother.
Yeah. I don't remember what that. Yes, but we had these things. We were cross-legged for hours, and yeah, comedians aren't going to take this thing.
No, you're not going to take it sitting down.
Yeah, seriously. I remember years ago at a wedding in a church. I don't even know what religious one. I don't know, Christian.
I would take
whatever.
a pew over the fucking carpet that we had to sit on.
Yeah, so we were sitting in a pew years ago, me and some other comedian friends, and we showed up to this guy's wedding, and he was like. He was a comedian, and he invited us because we're friends. But when we got there, he goes, "Man, everybody else is like a regular human being," and we show up, Jordans, like just idiots. But I remember they're doing the whole thing, like, "Do you take this woman?" Blah blah blah, and I just reach over and put my hand on my friend's thigh, and he just started dying laughing, and then like family members were looking at it, but it just made me laugh to just go like, comedians don't take things seriously.
No. How long have you been doing this for now?
Comedy?
Yeah.
My God, man, 15 years.
That's a long time.
It's too long.
Too long. Explain.
Okay. When I walked in, you go, "Hey, man, you should start getting into the fitness industry."
Way easier.
Right? And I go, yes, I should, because what the hell? There's as I look at this brick wall, I'm reminded of my entire 15 years in comedy. It literally, I'm looking at it going, I've been here before. No, I don't know, man. I like comedy.
How'd you get into it? Because I feel like East Coast has, in Canada, if we're looking at comedic exports that aren't first-generation immigrants who always have a good sense of humor, they're coming from the East Coast.
Sure.
Like Northeastern Canada, like just the idea of having a laugh is a very Eastern Canadian thing, I find. Like
Yeah.
once you're on the other side of Quebec, look out. You're splitting sides.
Yeah, Ontario seems to be very business. Most of it's very business, stern. You know what I mean? I'm on the QEW. I gotta get home.
Yeah.
I gotta call somebody. It's business. The prairies, it's even more business. It's like triple business.
Yeah, it's grain and
Grain.
silos and
Yeah, I gotta count my silos.
The
I gotta hold my grain. And then Vancouver, yeah, I mean Victoria, BC doesn't even like. It's way out there. It's like not even kind of. Anyway, to answer your question, how did I start doing stand-up? I mean, like you said, everybody's fun. Like, isn't everybody funny in the East Coast?
yeah.
Like everybody.
But there's a difference, right? There's a difference between being funny and being a comedian,
Sure.
right? Like my uncles are some of the funniest people in the world. Like, you put a quarter in them and like a Pilsner and look out. Just sit down and enjoy the show. But
Yeah.
if you put them on stage, they can put two words together.
Yes. The only real difference is like you one day go, oh, I guess I'm going to take this seriously.
Yeah.
That's the only deal. But like one of the funniest people I know is a friend of mine from Halifax. We all called him Peanut. This guy, he was working at Zeller's. You remember Zeller's?
Of course.
Great Canadian
Superstar.
Yeah.
Come on, get with it.
The gravy in the diner that you could eat by the goddamn women's section. The fucking Zeller's diner kicked ass, man.
It's not the better.
It was so
Fuck
great.
Whole Foods.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got the hot bar.
I got fucking fries and I'm watching a woman buy bras.
Yeah.
What a weird little thing that was.
Dinner
But
and a show.
my friend, he used to work at Zeller's and he was working there for like a couple weeks. And they told him to fix like a rake. Somebody, Zeller's was even lower than Walmart.
Yeah.
People would, like, Walmart people open the toys. Zeller's people play with them and shit and move them and like there's fucking spray cheese. Nobody cared. Remember those little spray cans of the Spider-Man stuff?
Yeah.
That was fucking everywhere. I remember in the goddamn Halifax fucking aisle. I can swear here, right? It's be all swearing.
Yeah.
So the straight East Coast, especially when I'm talking to people from the East Coast, it's like I just swear. But my friend's working at Zeller's, right? And somebody like boot fucked a rake. I don't even know why. Like some guy was probably like, is this gonna fucking hold my kids? And stomped on a rake. So it was bent. They go, hey man, you gotta fix this rake. He starts fucking with it, and then he just goes, fuck this. He throws the rake on the floor and walks out, okay? And that's funny enough, but then 2 months later, he just showed back up at Zeller's in his uniform to work.
Like nothing happened.
Like nothing like literally Costanza,
Like
dude.
Kramer, like strikes over.
Yes. He just walked in, they go, what are you doing?
Oh, that.
Yeah, he goes, what do you mean? He goes, and they go, you don't work here anymore. And he goes, what? And then he got fired. But that guy was so funny. That guy's just funny all the time, funny. And the only real difference is, yeah, he didn't decide to sit down and like, I don't know, write out stuff to say to people or get on a stage and all that kind of shit.
But I feel like when in that setting, it's like he is a living sketch comic.
Yeah.
Like he's like a Jordan Peele on Mad TV or something. But that's just his life. Like a weird Truman Show meets late night SNL when it was actually funny.
Yeah.
Because like, what is that process? Like, how is that process for you of like, you told the joke about like airline pilots.
Yeah.
And where, like, how does that start? Like, you're just driving down, you're like boarding a plane, and you're like, like, here's a premise. Do you write shit down, or does it come to you? Like,
yeah, I do write shit down. I'm trying to think of that because that joke randomly, you know how the internet works.
Yeah.
You put up a thing, and then months later, whatever. That joke about how pilots should be paid more money sat there for a little bit, and then some pilot found it and put it in like a pilot form, right?
Yeah.
So then I get messages still now. Pilots will make a reel with my audio from all over the world of them landing planes. And that video blew up in the pilot community. Do you know how many pilots are on this earth, dude?
No, I don't. A lot.
Pilots and flight attendants and like a whole bunch of people messaging me about this thing. So anyways, just to say, I think what it came from was that year I've been flying a ton, and every time I got off a plane, the pilot was like outside the cockpit door. And they were like, hey, good later, bye. And I was like, why the fuck are they? And not that I'm against it, because they're the person that landed this cocksucking thing, but I go, why the fuck are they out here? And I was like, they must not make enough money. And that the whole thing just became, they need to be paid more money. Every time they land a plane, we could have died.
Yeah.
But some pilot probably fucking jacked on Adderall or something was like, got it, and we're fine. And none of us care. Like, when we walk past them at the door, we just kind of like, whatever, dude. We should shake their goddamn hands. But we don't. We're too busy fighting flight attendants over fucking mask mandates to even give a fuck about goddamn pilots who saved us.
Do you ever have an inability to find humor in things? Like, I feel, because you're one of, like, when the madder you get, the funnier it is. And that has to be so stressful for you. Right? Like, you're here, this poor guy is just bleeding his heart out, and everyone is just, the further disdain you carry for something,
Yeah.
the less we actually care.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny is I'm going to probably just yell and this, but I like
Amazing.
your tone. I like your like, let's bring it back down. You know what I mean? You're like, hey man, so seriously, what's the process here? I mean that in a sincere way. The only way that I'm funny is to get animated and kind of yell about things. Anytime I just do, I've said to myself and my girlfriend in crowds, when I don't have energy, I might, honest to God, be the worst comedian that's ever walked the earth. I can't just tell jokes. I can't just say things I don't really care about. And me and other comedians have talked about this too. There's some people that can just do jokes, which is...
Like a Normad or whatever, that Mark Normand or whatever. That guy who's just like punchline, or like Jimmy Carr, just like premise, punchline, premise, punchline, premise, punchline.
Yes. And they may not necessarily... I have to have an emotional investment with this stuff, or I can't, man. I'll be like, here we go again. Oh, pilots need to be paid. And people are like, you fucking suck. I'm like, I know I suck, man. This is the worst. I have to get, but I mean, didn't you notice that a lot growing up in the East Coast? I would sit at my grandfather's house, right? And everybody's like, whatever. And my family just started yelling about things, yelling about government, yelling about whatever. And it was always so funny to me because they would get really fucking mad and screaming at each other, but they still tried to make it funny. It was never to hurt anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very East Coast thing. Because I think the East Coast just feels like they have no control over anything. So it's like they can, the louder they yell, they know they're not going to be heard. So it's literally, especially in Newfoundland, because the island mentality, it's like, oh, this is just an abyss.
Yeah.
So tune up. Like we're just going to we're going to spinal tap this to 11 and we're going to send this over the ocean. No one's going to hear it.
Oh, that's so funny. Because Newfoundland, I mean, you're not even really, you're not connected to the Maritimes.
No.
But even we're, Maritimes and Newfoundland, so you might feel disconnected from us, and we feel disconnected from the rest of the country. My mom has been yelling for years. She's like, if the fucking government of Canada could soft the Maritimes off and let it float into the ocean, it would. And in a way, they would. Like every once in a while, they go, hey, we're stopping via service to Halifax. You know what I mean? There's going to be less buses going there. And he goes, so what is it? What are you going to have to fucking ride a moose to Montreal? How the fuck does anybody get anywhere?
It's getting sanctioned.
They just forget about it all the time. Because I think, I might be crazy, but the Maritimes and Newfoundland, these are the poorest provinces in the country, right?
I would imagine. They have no resources. Like they don't have no oil. They have no grain. You can't grow shit. Like you can mine rocks in Newfoundland. That's
you guys had to get your fucking moose shipped in.
But
Burnaby.
now, dude, what a problem that is.
Absolutely,
We've invited them in, and now they're not fucking. They're 3-1 right now. There's 3-1 moose to people. Dude, the second leading cause of death. So it's like heart disease, bullwinkle. Like that's how it goes down in Newfoundland.
Yeah,
just right through your fucking windscreen.
That's the thing. Yeah, people hit the legs.
Goddamn jackalope on stilts.
Yeah, man, and it falls right through people's windshields and crush them. And the moose gets up, dusts himself off, fucking goes back into the woods.
It's a different place, but like that, the emotional attachment. Because I remember growing up, and you're Canadian, you'll get the reference. Rex Murphy.
Yeah.
Do you know Rex Murphy?
Yeah.
He's like, he used to do these shorts, these rants, and they predated who would have been the first like political commentator that like, Jon Stewart maybe would have been the first one that sort of took that political satire, Veritas style. He was the first one, and he's a newfie. And like I think just the wordplay on the East Coast, something that lends itself to being very funny, like double entendres or rhymes or whatever. Like that to me is all the funny people I know, not all the funny people, but all the Canadians I know, the funniest Canadians I know are all East Coast Canada.
Yeah.
Because they just have this, it's like, well, you can't change anything. You're going to be here forever. So go ahead.
Rick Mercer's one of those guys too from fucking Newfoundland as well.
You must have worked with him at some point.
Yeah, actually the only time I have was during the pandemic. They shot a Just for Laughs taping in Burlington, in a theater in Burlington that was during the pandemic, so they only had like 50 people in the crowd of like a 700-seat theater, and then they filled it out with like blow-up dolls.
No, they didn't.
Not the whole theater, but yeah, dude, you were like, there's one regular human man, a blow-up doll. Yep, literally. They tried to make it a little bit better, so they tried to sit them like people. Like, you know what I mean? They set them like this. They had hair. It was ridiculous.
Was this just for the camera?
It was for us. Because it wasn't on. They didn't shoot the crowd because they didn't want it. They didn't want to show people that it was.
That couldn't have been helpful.
No,
Just empty stadium. Just put a camera in front of my face. Don't fucking with the sex doll in the third row.
Yes, but that's what they did. Giant mouth opened, big dick coming from this way, hair. But that was the only time I've worked with him. But a lot of those other guys, like, you know, Ron James and like Jonathan Torrens from out there, work with those dudes. And anyways, to answer your question, long way around, I always like comedy.
But what was your first show? Do you remember your first show?
Yes.
Do you remember the first joke?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah. It's funny because I was doing shows with Akash, and he brings everybody out afterwards, and he wanted us to do that. Like, what's your first joke for the crowd? And I go, yeah, I remember what. So at the time, first of all, the first show I ever did was at Ginger's Tavern on Barrington Street in Halifax, which is now, it's like a steak place. Have you been to downtown Halifax in the last bunch of years?
And if I must say, it's been pizza joints and dispensaries.
Not
that's
anymore.
that's my memory of Halifax. No?
I don't know when last time you were there. Now it's like it really kind of feels like they decided, why are there so many fights in downtown Halifax? They go, why is this like a pirate ship? Why are there just drunk people fucking stabbing each other? And they go, well, it's because the people that are down here are from Nova Scotia.
Problem.
And they go, well, we're going to push them away and we're going to bring in students and we'll make the downtown like a student center almost, so that the people that live here don't really come down here. So now when you go downtown, there's like wine bars.
What?
Yeah, and you're like, what? Wine? Like, hey, who doesn't like wine? I'm an adult, but this is downtown. What the fuck?
Yeah, where's the IPA-induced stabbings?
Yeah, the stabbings. Right. Where are the stabbings? Where are the dollar drinks? Where are the people? Where are the bouncers throwing uppercuts at people, and they fly through fucking plate glass windows or whatever?
So, Gingers. I got you. It's a team effort. It's a team effort.
That's what I was saying. I like this because I would just ramble, and you're like, no, man, we're back on topic.
I just want to hear the first joke.
So, yeah, Ginger's Tavern, Barrington Street, and the first joke was...
What year?
2005, 6.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fucking ridiculous. I was a child.
What were you doing before that?
I was in high school.
Holy shit.
I started doing this when I was 19. So actually, I was working at a plumbing supply warehouse right before.
Great material.
Oh, man. My first... I will not forget this. I remember, but working at a plumbing supply warehouse, so right after I graduated high school, I was like, well, I don't want to go to, it's like, my mom wanted me to go work on the oil rigs, because it's fucking East Coast.
You go to Fort Mac or something, or just one of the ones out in the ocean?
I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
But she goes, I'm going to call somebody. So anyways, I get a call. My mom sounds like a cigarette. Like, that's literally what it is. So like most people from the East Coast, you know what I mean? Legitimately, it's like seagulls with fucking A&W burgers. That's the whole place. Everybody's dad is a goddamn half a lobster. He lost some of his fingers in a fucking bandsaw accident.
Oh my God, how many relatives do you have that don't have fingers?
One,
and
then
so many.
Newfoundland, the first time I went over there, I met a guy, he shook my hand like that.
Probably my uncle.
And I went like this, and he goes, ugh, and he just made some weird, he goes, weird, eh? I go, why are we, you know what I mean? But my mom goes, I want you to go work at the fucking oil rigs. So I was like, Mom, I don't want to. So anyways, she found somebody, she called some guy at the oil rigs, okay? So I get a call one day like 6 a.m., and I answer it, and it's a guy. He goes, you want to work on the fucking rigs? That's like how he answered the phone. And behind him, I could hear screaming, steam.
Someone's getting tack welded into the floor.
I can't believe I'm going to die today. Like, whatever danger pay.
We got a new opening.
Yeah. Some guy being like, I just bought another truck. And he goes, you want to work on the rigs, eh? I go, man, I don't. I go, my mom called you or whatever. He goes, I don't want to work in the rigs. He goes, all right. He goes, like, call me when you're ready to fucking get serious, and hang up. And he hung up. And anyways, Barrington Street, Gingers. So at the time in Halifax, there were robbings. There was these guys walking around with boxing gloves. So Canada. And so Nova Scotian too. Walking around with boxing gloves, and they were running up to people and getting them to give them their debit cards and take them to a ATM. And if they didn't, they just knock them the fuck out and take their shit, right?
With 16 ounces on.
They probably had 8. They probably went full.
They go 4 on like UFC or anything like that, which has to be the easiest crime to solve. look for the two super heavyweights. Might as well have done it in sumo suits. Like, so what's the APB call look like? We're looking for two men wearing boxing gloves. Like, oh man, what color are they? Doesn't matter. How many people down at Halifax wearing boxing gloves?
That's hilarious. We're looking for a guy talking to his cut man, leaning on some ropes, getting fucking water put on him. So they were walking around making people go to ATMs, and the joke was, I go, man, so not only are you, because they're taking you to an ATM, and they go, they might not even take you to your branch. So you might have to pay $1.50 service fee to give them your money. So I go, not only are they robbing you, the machine's asking for a cut. That was the whole joke.
How'd it go? How did it land?
People, well, here died, but I'm kidding. No, people liked it. Yeah, people laughed, and I was like, cool. But I remember that was the first thing that I wrote down and did, and then I had a joke about Rita McNeil. I had some joke. I read something on the wall that was, Britney sucks good dick. And I go, what does that even mean? Like, so stupid. So, I go, what's that even mean, good dick? I was like, what is this dick fucking pay attention in math class? Like, just so dumb. Those were the three things I talked about. That, the money thing, Rita McNeil, and Britney.
And what was your take? Like, walking off stage, you hit your closer, curtain falls, or whatever, you walk behind the bar. What was your initial thought? Like, well, we're not doing this again? Or it was like, all right, I'm all in.
Jordan, it was fantastic. And I went, I'm so all in. I was already in anyway. Like, since I was 10, I wanted to do stand-up. My mom always had stand-up on in the house, and I always just thought it was, like, the coolest thing. So I did the show, and it went really well. And I go, yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I was like, this is easy. I got this, man.
Okay, what's the worst show?
But then, real quick, the second time I did a show at Ginger's, second time, there was only 6 people there. 2 of them I knew. 1 of them I had slept with. And it was brutal, man. Bad. Nothing. I hit the thing. Oh, man, now the machine's asking for a cut. People are looking at me like, what are you even talking about? Did the whole thing about Rita McNeil. People are like, who the fuck? Brutal. And I remember leaving there going, oh, comedy's not easy. I thought this whole thing was going to be like you just jump on a stage, you ramble some shit, and right there I found out, no, this is terrible. Was that
the worst?
No.
Okay.
The worst.
Let's dig deep.
Oh, man.
Just a bomb.
There's so many bombs, Jordan. There's so many bombs. I mean, there's Canadian bombs, there's American bombs. I'll try to remember one of each. So, first of all, America, New York, man.
Unforgiving?
Dude, there's before you even get to your show, you see a roach riding a roach. There's a rat paying rent. They got little hats and they got glasses and they live there. And you think you're live in the city and they do. They're like, get out of my way, fucking tourist. It's death. Trains are hell. Especially when you first get there, when you first move to, and you might have had this one leaving Newfoundland. Where'd you first go when you left Newfoundland?
St. Catharines.
Did you have that when you first got to St. Catharines? Where you like, fuck, I don't have money. This is all fucked up. Or did you go there for a job?
I had that when I moved to Windsor.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah. You would. Everyone feels that way.
Yeah.
Windsor was a bad one.
Windsor is 2 notches above New York in terms of desolation.
Wow.
Right away. You know what I mean? I can imagine if I went straight from Halifax to Windsor, I would have been like, I don't know. It's cold there. I don't mean cold like winter. I mean cold like what happened here.
Okay. Do you know what portables are?
Yeah.
So grade schools, they need an extension. You got kids coming in. Do you remember the kid named So me and Lundy have been knowing each other for 25 years.
Nice.
You might not know. We went to my grade school. I went to MS Hetherington School, and I came kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2. I remember in the 5th grade there was a kid named Bronson, who had already, which sets the stage, and
That's
I can't
his
make
first
this.
name?
That's his first name, and perhaps his only name. He was kind of like an entity. He was like Prince.
He had no parents. He's like Bane, born in a prison.
He got suspended or something, and his homeroom was in the portable. 5th grade, he comes back after school and he burned the portable down.
Wow.
And stood there and watched it burn down.
Wow.
And then they're like, hey, did you do this? And he's like, yes. And he's like, okay. You're laughing because you're from there and you know how. Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, of course. This is exactly what happened.
He's in jail now.
I think he's dead.
I don't know why that hit me so funny, but just like the delivery of that. I think he's dead.
No, yeah, we're pretty sure. We're pretty sure he's
Well,
he's
when you
not with
start there, you don't have a last name. Your life can only go. Man, even just you go. I want to get a job. What's your name? Bronson. What's your last name? Bronson.
us. It's just
Nothing else. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm in New York. Okay, this is years ago. I had just come back from Just for Laughs, and I great shows, TV taping, whatever. You're running around with fucking whoever, and I come back to New York and I have a show at literally the worst club in the city. This club is not fit for garbage. Human garbage. Well, actual garbage shouldn't be there. It should be kept in a better facility than this club. Okay. I go. It's just a tourist trap. They tell people things like, "Hey, Jim Carrey's gonna be here tonight."
the old bait and switch.
Right? And Jim Carrey hasn't done stand-up in 40 years. But people are like, I love Jim Carrey. I love Ace Ventura. Here's $900. And then they get there, and there's me. And they go, fuck you. Like, they're just so mad. So I go on stage, and I'm doing nothing, dude. I'm eating it, right? Sorry. And I apologize to the mic stand.
Canadian.
So Canadian. I apologize to the mic stand. So I'm bombing. And a guy in the back, he goes, boo.
Like that, like just
light.
just enough to.
Yeah.
Wow, that cuts deep.
Yeah, and I go. At first, I ignored it because I was like, nah. I do another thing. He goes, boo, a little louder. And I go, are you booing, man? Like I had not. Yeah, I just had. This was not. I should not have even doing this show right now. The mindset I was in, I was like, I have nothing. I haven't slept since the weekend. I'm fucked. He goes, boo. I go, come on, man. That's where I was at. I had no responses. I go, come on, like I'm pleading with this guy.
Reason with him.
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on, man. And he goes, boo. I go, fuck. And then I tried to go at him a little bit. I go, man, you're booing me. And I go, look at you. You got a Hanes t-shirt from a bag. And then nobody's doing anything. And then he just pauses and he goes, boo. I go, fuck. Okay, so I leave. And I walk off stage and I'm in the hallway. And he comes out. And he goes, yo, man. I'm sorry about that, dude. And I go, it's all right, man. Whatever. And he goes, but you were fucking terrible.
That's amazing.
He came out to hit me again. Like he came out and full bait and switch. Full like, dude, I want to apologize, but go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But then, so that's American. I've probably even had worse shows there. But the worst show I've ever had in Canada. Again, there's a bunch of these, man. So many, especially like driving around. I used to do a lot of shows in Ontario. So you're driving around. Okay, the one I can think of right off the top of my head, Listwool, Ontario.
What the fuck is that?
Listwool is a little town outside of fucking Seaforth.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, I know.
Go to Narnia, hang a left.
Basically. Leave Toronto, pick a direction. You're in some place that resembles Listwool.
Okay.
And the show that we were doing was at this restaurant, but the owner of the restaurant didn't tell the people that there was a show. So it was a couple of, literally 2 or 3 elderly couples that were eating, like they're trying to have dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, they want to have dinner, man. These people are old. They've raised their own kids. Their fucking grandkids kick the backs of their seats when they're driving, and they go, I just want to eat like a fucking boiled egg and enjoy my Thursday. And then there's some guy that's so middle of Ontario. He looks like a truck. He drives a truck. He eats trucks. He has like a hat that has like, you know when you go to small towns and people have hats that just have a whole bunch of shit on them?
Yeah.
Daryl's fucking auto body, Sobeys.
He's a truck. It's his bumper sticker.
Yeah, a phone number, like just random a skidoo. There's always skidoos.
Yeah, has to.
And this guy has all that shit. I'm on stage doing, I tell a joke about how I just broke up with my girlfriend. And this guy literally, she broke up with me. I don't know why I tried to spin that all these years later as if like I'm a cool guy. She shattered my life and I went and slept on a couch. She went, whatever. But he goes, not in this town, buddy. I go, what do you mean? And he goes, my daughter just went through a breakup. I go, yeah? So he goes, so we're not talking about that. I go, so you're telling me I can't talk about breakups? He pushes the chair back like a Western. It made the fucking noise. And I can see his straight up middle Ontario, goddamn fucking straight leg, boot cut jeans, hat, and jacket with a whole bunch of shit on it. And he goes, I told you, man, not in this town. And I thought the elderly couple would like jump in. I look over to them and they're like, they want me to die too.
They doubled down.
They doubled down. So then I just miserably bombed while because I was scared to even talk about anything. So I just bombed.
How long were these sets?
That one was a half hour.
What are you doing now?
Oh, I mean, half hour, an hour, 45 minutes. It depends. Like some shows you're doing, like in New York, you might do 15 minutes.
Yeah.
On the road, you're doing like 45 to an hour.
Do you have a preference? Do you like the longer haul or?
I like a little bit longer just because kind of what we were talking about earlier in terms of East Coast. I use too many words, purposely almost, and because all my sentences have too much jammed into them, and in 6 minutes, I feel it's too much sometimes to give and for people to take. So I like a longer set where I can you go, oh no, okay, this is what this guy does. Now I'm thinking about it. Bob Cajun. This might be the worst bomb. Okay. So I was doing this corporate show for like a bank. And it was in Bob Cajun. And it was in they don't have a theater there. So it was in a barn that they do plays in. Okay?
I don't know what Bob Cajun is.
Bob Cajun is also in Ontario.
No, this is a city.
It's like a cottage town.
Okay.
But yeah, it's here. Do you ever hear the song Bob Cajun?
No.
You've heard it?
No.
Are we in Canada anymore?
We are.
Did I just fall into
I
where
don't know
am I?
where you've been doing comedy, but okay,
Who the fuck's? Now I sound like an asshole. I bring it up and I can't even remember who sings it. Oh my! The Tragically Hip. Christ.
Okay, all right, yeah.
They have a song called
you
Bob
sound like an
Cajun.
asshole. All right.
I know, don't I? I'm like, you don't remember? And then I'm like, what's that guy's name? Gord who?
Yeah. Is he good?
Anyways, I'm doing this bank thing, and it's for there she is,
There you
right
go.
outside
Wow.
Barrie up there,
Yeah,
bud.
between Barrie and Peterborough.
Yeah,
What iconic landmarks of civility in Northern Ontario.
Yeah, you go to Barrie, you hop in a fucking one of those like a rowboat, and you just fucking give her over there. So yeah, Bob Cajun, there she is. So I'm doing
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Yeah, it's like a little cottage town. It's a nice town. I'm doing a show there for a bank, like a corporate show for a bank. So it's a bank. All the people are like older, and we're talking like older, okay? Yeah. And it's Bob Cajun, so like people retire there and shit. They're older people. And I go up there, Jordan, and I'm eating it, man. I'm talking like eating it, dude. I can't get anything. So then I start being like, what do you guys even like about Bob Cajun? I in my head, I'm thinking I'll make fun of the town and get... They start being like, it's a good town. Like, they're so mad at me. 28 minutes in, I'm doing a half hour, and then I'm bringing up another guy. 28 minutes in, dude. I go, all right, I'm going to get out of here. There's I can't even make this up, man. There's an old woman at the back on an oxygen tank. Okay? She's got the fucking mask on, big tank beside her. Somebody keeps twisting it so she can fucking live. I go, I'm about to get out of here. This lady takes off the oxygen mask, and she goes... Good.
That was worth it. That was a worthwhile transaction.
And the best part about that is the crowd died.
Oh, so she got the last laugh. Literally.
She crushed, man. This is the thing, and I've tried to talk about this a bunch of times. Like every once in a while, you look at comedians like they're bad people for certain things that they say, and they're like, comedians can't say this, comedians can't say that, because comedians are, I don't know, whatever some people want to say, that comedians are bad. In my estimation, the worst people are groups. Groups of people. Each one of these little elderly people, if I was sitting at their house sucking on Werthers, none of them ever would look at you. They would never take your oxygen. They would never take their tank off and be like, you want to shut up? Ever. But in a group of them, they're like, he needs to die. Good. Brutal, dude. That might be the worst one.
Now, what about the best?
Oh.
They're like, okay, this is hot. Because I saw recently, R.I.P. Gilbert Godfrey died. And I saw you were brought out on stage by him. And I thought, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be one of the highlights. When you fold this up and you get into the fitness industry, we get you a bunch of gear, you start banging trend. You just turn it into, like, literally, get you a Vegas spot. You're like Carrot Top. You go the Carrot Top route. What are you going to look back on the career and be like, right, these moments were... all the oxygen tanks aside, these are the best.
Let me ask you a question. You think, first of all, if I get into the fitness industry and my name is TrapStar, okay?
Halfway there.
All I do is work traps.
Yeah.
Am I already in?
You're there. You can't back out of the driveway. You're just shtick. It's fucking amazing. You're already there.
But I'm a TrapStar, dude.
Yeah.
And I come out and I go, yo, man, TrapStar here. I just work traps and I sell crypto.
Done.
Right? I think this can work.
That's it. Get you some Dogecoin. You gotta have your NFT as your profile picture. That's
Yes.
big. Once you have that, you're legit. You're in.
I mean, hopefully the best parts of things before I literally ride a lobster back to Nova Scotia are ahead. But I mean, cool things that have happened. One thing, again, there's many things, but one thing, I got to do a show, Just for Laughs Gala, with Carrie Fisher hosting.
Okay.
Princess Leia.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's a 3,000-seat theater. People are so jacked to see her. People are dressed like fucking, you know, tauntauns and goddamn, all of it. It's like Star Wars people. And they're jacked to see her. And in the back, like, talk to her a bit. She's super nice. And it's just like a cool vibe and everything. But just a cool moment. The show was great, but just a cool moment that you wouldn't get unless you're in the back and, you know. So after the whole show's done, we all go out, we all say goodnight or whatever, and we walk off stage, and she's out there for a minute by herself to get, like, you know, people are losing it. And she's out there like, thank you, I love you guys. And as she walks off, she's still waving, thank you, thank you. And as soon as she hits the curtain and it's just us, she goes, oh, I want to go home. And I just love that, like, little moment of real, right from showbiz to back to being a woman. I just want to be in a hotel room.
Just that candid, like, you got to see it and no one else did.
That's what I mean. It was like me and like 8 other people. And there's certain things that you get to see doing this that, like, you go, fuck, man, this is such a cool little thing that on the outside, and I always wanted to do comedy, that you wouldn't even really get to see. Like, doing shows that are great, that's super fun. But then, I don't know, that's just a memory that sticks with me. It's a cool little moment that I got to see from this fucking, like, legend.
Who are the go-tos growing up? Like, when you were a kid and you said mom's always got it on.
Yeah.
Like, who were like, oh, like, this guy's the GOAT. I want to do this because of him.
The people that I saw the most when I was a kid, my mom's favorite comedian was Sam Kinison.
Okay.
So he was on a ton, and I love Sam Kinison. Carlin's one. I remember when I was like 13, my mom's like, you got to watch this. And then it's me and my mom watching Carlin talk about, you know, cops fucking jamming lamps into people's asses. And I'm like, I'm 12. And my mom's like, this is the East Coast.
Your mom, you did the joke, or you put up the joke the other day, and I want to ask you about social media in a minute, about like the kid wearing elbow pads and the helmet.
Yeah.
I think I watched that reel. If it has 100,000 views, I'm half of them. Because I literally watched that. Your mom sounds like the most interesting, quintessential East Coast mother that exists.
Yeah. No, that's a real thing. My mom, my friend's mom was like, where's your helmet? And I went and told my mom, and she's like, tell Thomas's mom to shut her fucking mouth. I remember walking in the house that day, and she was on the phone. My mom was always on the phone. She was on the phone with a cigarette, like just like this. I go, Mom, because I just had to talk to her because she's on the phone. She wasn't going to get off the phone. So I go, Mom, Thomas's mom. She goes, tell Thomas's mom to shut her fucking mouth. Right back to, yeah, anyways. Yeah, right, big puffs, fucking DeMaurier lights, just fucking pounded them.
Oh, the DeMauriers. Holy
DeMauriers,
shit.
buddy, or players.
Yeah, those are the Belmonts of the East Coast.
Yeah, you're fucking living high, dude. You got a pack of DeMaurier?
Doing well. Are you playing a couple scratch tickets, some pull cards?
Couple of fucking scratch offs. But sorry, what did you just ask me? So Carlin, Chris Rock, and Sam Kinison. Those were the 3 people when I was a kid that I really, really was like, fuck, man, I love what they do, how they do it. I liked how smart their shit was, and since I was like 10, I always wanted to do stand-up.
Did you have a take on the Chris Rock thing? I know that was passed around the stand-up community, and then the Chappelle thing that happened a few weeks ago. Like, because didn't like Busta Rhymes like bend the guy's arm the other way or something?
It looks like, I mean, that video, first of all, when you see the picture, didn't that guy kind of look like Tekashi 6ix9ine?
He did.
There was a second there where I was like, did they kick the fuck out of 6ix9ine?
That'd be amazing if they did.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Busta Rhymes specifically, but yeah, that guy got mangled. The Chris Rock thing, I mean, it's been talked about so many times, so I'll just say...
But yours is the only opinion that matters.
Well, but so many comedians have talked about it that are like, you know, and now Chris Rock is doing jokes about it on stage. I just saw yesterday that
did he? Good for him.
Yeah, he put together some stuff and he's doing jokes about it. I guess the only thing I'll say about it that again, it's been talked about so many times, but I guess the only thing I'll say about it is like if you're I would think before this, if I wasn't in comedy, I would be like Chris Rock and the Oscars. This is the same thing. He belongs there, right? The second Will Smith hit him, the Oscars looked at him the way that woman looked at me, like, good comedian. Not in the same realm. Not in the same... And it was like, for me as a person watching it, I felt... I was like, fuck, man. I've never been in that situation, and I can't even imagine... The way he handled it is fucking incredible, but I've definitely been on a stage where I'm alone and this crowd is against me. But to be in that one, you're in movies, you're in all the shit, and then you find out in that second these people don't care about you. You're not in their fucking league.
Yeah.
If he would have hit Will Smith, dude, my God, he would have been thrown through a fucking. They would have put him in the big Oscar and thrown it down fucking Rodeo Drive. Like it would have been they would have put a rocket on it and shot it into, you know what I mean? The desert. But this way, they just kind of go, well, how are you going to deal with it? Comedian. It made me feel, I don't know him, you know, but like, it made me be like, fuck, I really feel for this man. It just made me angry as a comedian.
Is that ever a double-edged sword, though? Because I remember I really started to pay attention to stand-up comedy when Jon Stewart was doing The Daily Show on Comedy Central. And, like, he would push at things, and I had no opinion. I still have no opinion. But he would push on things, and he would pull back behind the guise of being a stand-up comedian, right? But he would be very poignant and very political and very direct. But then he would kind of just go, like, I'm a comedian. But it's like, dude, you're not, especially now. He's like, he's a political commentator. It's like, dude, you were always kind of that, but now you're on Apple. Now you're a political commentator, right? So do you feel like that's the other side of that sword of going like, well, you guys, for the most part, not you guys, but like there are things that can be said that other people can't say, and they say it in a way that, you know, it's like the Louis C.K. pre-jerk-off thing. It was like he was just going through, like, all of his jokes were like, this is 10 minutes about pedophilia on SNL. I don't know if you remember that one. And he navigated the minefield in a way that no one else could. And they were able to run the John Baptiste joke about pedophiles in his hometown on national television. Do you feel like that's the other side of it, though? Like
that you might get hit?
Well, not that you might get hit, but that, okay, we look at you different in these ways that allow you guys to be funny, then that's just another representation or manifestation of being looked at different. Because, like, imagine if, like, Tucker Carlson was going on there and was doing some, like, thing on pedophilia. You know what I mean? He would get raked over the coals for that. Do you feel like it comes with the territory, or?
First of all, Tucker Carlson is going on.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
That was a poor example.
They're fucking taking our fucking... This guy... Whatever.
He's taking up the helm for Alex Jones.
It's so... But he's like a Swan. He's a Swanson's TV dinner guy.
It's
His fucking fan. He's never seen a regular human being. He doesn't live in regular places. He's not a fucking person.
No.
Anyway,
anyone who wears a bow tie is not a regular person.
But I don't know, man. I don't know if people just decided that. I mean, obviously over the last few years, people have definitely been like, well, there's certain things that you can and can't say. Comedians, for the most part, have always kind of been like, no, as long as you make it funny, that's the whole goal. And I've definitely seen people who I wouldn't say deserve to be slapped on a stage, but I definitely would get it more if they got into a fight. Because I've seen people really go back and forth with people. And I've seen comedians get hit before. Fox and the Fiddle, John Adelaide, Toronto, years ago. Guy came out and just start fucking haymakering this dude. Somebody grabbed the mic from me. Keel and Finch, some guy.
Well, you were doing a show on Finch?
Keel and Finch.
Yeah. And
some guy, I guess words you can't even say now, but this guy's at the back on the phone saying him a whole bunch of shit. Anyway, whatever. There's words now, there's certain things now, I guess, that people are like, no, that's too far. Comedians don't really operate that way. We just try to make things funny. If a crowd laughs, then that's kind of it. But there seems to be people now, I even got people from back home that are like, if somebody talked about my wife like that, I'd hit them too. You go, buddy, just admit you're cheating on your wife.
Yeah, let's cut to the chase.
What
here.
the fuck is wrong with you? A comedian makes a dumb joke about some like the smallest joke, and you're gonna get up and fight them? Are you want to sit in Dorchester? You want to be in a prison, and somebody goes, "What are you in here for?" You're like, "Clap the fucking comedian, dude. Some guy was talking about my wife who I was cheating on, and I decided to get up and defend." Like, grow up, man.
Have you noticed at all, like, you curtailing the delivery or content of your jokes over the last decade? Like, you know, you hedged on even saying what those words were.
Yes.
Have you had to, like, auto-correct yourself as, like, to adjust with the times? Or,
Yeah,
do you remember a joke that you obviously, like, said in this Keelan Finch show?
Oh no, no! He was kind of drunk and just. I didn't say anything there that bothered this guy. He came in mad.
Can you think of any jokes that you would have told 5 years ago, 10 years ago that if you said now, you're like, oh, that might not land or might like you go viral for the wrong reasons?
Sure.
All right, we're gonna leave it at that. Yes. Next question. How have you adjusted? Because one thing that I like about your like presence online is how much you put up, because it's kind of this weird thing that's your most precious stuff is your joke, and you put it all out there, which means you'd have to turn over. Like Seinfeld's been doing the same jokes for however many years. It's like going to see the Rolling Stones. It's like play Start Me Up and then put Charlie Watt back on a ventilator again, right? So it's like, but how have you found that transition? Was there like a conscious like, oh, okay, I need to be more active on posting on social media? And then how do you think that's changed like stand-up comedy on the whole? Because like I see people on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, that put up small bits, and then you see them do a set, or like you meet them in person, and you're like, oh, this guy's a TikTok comedian. Like that's kind of that's a weird stage.
The stuff that I do put up, it's always like smaller parts of bigger things.
Okay.
So if I got like that overprotective mom thing. I probably got like another 5 minutes of talking about my mom and other stuff she said, but that's just like a little clip. I guess you could say like a fucking trailer of it.
Yeah.
But it's rare that I just put up a full thing that's done, unless it's a topical type of thing that's like, it's only living here, whatever. But I don't know. I've kind of been thinking too, is I try to put up other things that are not just stand-up, because there's a part of it now too that when, I don't know if we're killing ourselves in terms of comedians, just putting up clip after clip after clip. And then I'm starting to think now, it's like, does this just water the whole thing down and make people not even give a fuck about any of it? Because what happens is I try to not do this. People put up anything, right? So they'll put up a clip of them being like, oh, I'm at the store. You ever been to the store? And that's the clip. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I get it.
Just to post. Just to post.
Just to feed the Gary V machine.
Just to feed the Gary V machine.
Yeah. Content.
Yes.
The C word.
Content, man. LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. All the things that he would name. The apps that I've never even heard of.
No. Like WeChat. Like all the Chinese stuff.
Yeah,
like we're going mainland China with this.
Yeah. He's like, I'm posting on Alibaba right now. But anyway, so I've been trying to think more about not just posting for the sake of posting, like really, and I've kind of always tried to do that anyway. But yeah, I don't think I answered your question.
Does that affect? Well, kind of. I mean, does it affect the way you like create your sets? Because you creating your sets is creating content, right? But the frequency or a turnover rate of a set now, if you're putting up these clips, I mean, you have 15 years to draw from, but maybe half of those are on film. I don't know if you've been filming the whole time. But like, does that accelerate the process?
I think it honestly, kind of helps me, because then it stops you from being as precious with stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to somebody about this last night, actually. Comedians, I mean, I'll say Toronto comedians specifically, because this is basically where I started, even though I did start in the East Coast. But moving out to Toronto, and really started there. We all were just trying to have new stuff for the 10 shows that were in the city at the time. So we would just burn shit constantly and never really put stuff together, right? This now kind of makes me go, okay, what am I trying to put together? What do I want to have to put together and actually build things and show little bits of it to then get more people to watch or whatever, so that when I put the bigger thing together, there's more people to see it.
Is your main focus, because I mean, we obviously have like mutual friends that are comedians, that their main focus is like from a day-to-day is not necessarily like stand-up comedy, doing sets, traveling around, doing shows. It's the media side entirely. and it's almost like the art is the afterthought, and maybe not the afterthought, but like the real delivery or the engine that drives this whole thing is social media. Like for you, how do you break up your attention, your resources, your mental capacity between like, okay, if I put more into socials, that might put more people in seats, give me bigger theaters, whatever. Or you're like, you know what, I'm going to be more like a purist. I'll put up what I can, but I don't want to dilute it. I want to focus on the actual people who show up, and that's how I'm going to build a fan base and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's hard because it seems like now the only way to do anything is social media, or at least online, you know? So you do kind of have to get out of I was literally talking about this with somebody last night. The way that we used to do stand-up was just running around, getting spots, people would see you, blah, blah, blah. They'd want to come to your other stuff, other people would put you on things, and that was it, right? But now, mindlessly running around doing spots doesn't help. It's like, yes, you can do it. People like it. You made this room laugh, but this is 100 people where if you somehow figured out how to put this online, millions. So I'm trying to go more so into just, I don't want to say stopping stand-up, but just going, okay, Nathan, stop being an idiot, man. The way that I started stand-up was like, this is it. I'm throwing away girlfriends, people, everything. And all I did was stand-up. I'm trying to now think like, just do that with not throw away girlfriends, everything, like more of an adult.
Call the wife.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You gotta go.
Yeah, get the fuck out. I'm on TikTok. And I know people that have done that, man.
Come on.
Dude, people have gotten full divorces to focus on their fucking TikToks.
Really?
Do you know where we live? Yes, this is a sad world.
I don't. Like, I know like pro athletes that have done similar things, but it's like, if you're grabbing the bag, dog, like you're in or you're out, you gotta go. But it's like, I got like 1,000 more subscribers. You know what? That just makes me think they didn't really like their wife.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Like old mate cheating on his old lady, saying that he would clap where Chris Rock on stage. It's like, oh, okay. What was the real reason why?
Yes. I'll tell you this. When I become TrapStar, dude, I'm just working my traps.
Dude,
I'll talk to nobody. I'll shut my phones off, man.
This is it. Wear sunglasses inside. You're there. You're there.
Great fucking Canadian reference. But I now am more literally just trying to go stop it with this whole thing and just focus on this other stuff. Yeah. Again, not to the idea of like putting everything online. Like I don't want to live there, but I do want to focus more so on just like creating stuff for that, putting stuff on that, and have the other thing be not the side thing, because I love stand-up, but more so...
I think it sounds more sacred that way, right? Because if you're only doing 4 spots a year, and your day-to-day, your 9 to 5 is like, the content creation, that's just comedy, and your stage is your phone or YouTube or whatever platform, WeChat or whatever you and Gary Vee decide to work out.
WeChat, yeah.
But it's just like, now it's like when you do shows, you'll have reached a much broader audience, and then you'll be able to...
Yeah.
Like it's not the same. Like seeing the comedians... Who was the first? Eddie Griffin. I saw Eddie Griffin at San Jose Improv. 2011, and I was the only white person there. And dude, like, you watch it live, you see him in movies, whatever. Like crowds. You were talking about crowds are the worst people. I thought I was going to get lynched because his whole set was like kind of anti-white people, and I'm being melanoma. Benjamin Moore melanoma was like the only white person there, and I was like, this is really like looking for the fire exits. But I remember seeing it live in person going like, oh, this isn't even the same thing. Which is like, you could probably do the same stuff online and do it live, and just like the atmosphere of having everyone else next to you in a crowd.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic too.
Killed.
He has a special, I think it's from 2011, called You Can Tell Him I Said It. So good.
I think that may have been the set that I saw.
Did he open with I want to fuck Michelle Obama?
Yeah, that was one.
Yeah, that's the one
that's strong. That's how strong.
Yeah,
I mean, what's he closing with?
Yeah. I did fuck Michelle Obama. That's
just full circle, like an essay, really.
Yeah.
Who else? I saw Russell Peters at the Warfield in San Francisco.
Nice.
That was unbelievable. Like the crowd work, the racially motivated crowd work. I thought 2 Syrian guys in the front row were going to jump up and stab them with their forks. But yeah, do you have modern favorites? Like, we talked about Kinison, we talked about Chris Rock. Who are you now like? Because I'm sure like you're just friends with everyone.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that I'm friends with, or at least know that I'm like, fuck, these people are really great. Akash is great.
Yeah.
Schultz obviously is great. Like it's and I say that in the way of like me saying that we know.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
got it.
The guy's fucking.
This just in.
Yeah, the guy's great. I mean, guys like fucking John Mulaney are great. There's so many people that are great, but I still, as stupid as this sounds, I still am like, and I think it's because they're working. Chris Rock and Chappelle, man,
Yeah.
it's still like being in New York and being at the Cellar. I've been lucky enough to see them a bunch of times, and like, it's just crazy to me to think that both these dudes have done so much, and they don't even need to do it, you know, but they love it so much and want to do it that they still do it at such a fucking high level after 40 years.
Yeah.
It's really crazy to watch, man. Like, they're both not fucking around in any stretch, and it's I don't know, I still really, really love watching those dudes.
He seems to be one that, like, because I've always heard reference to comedians talk about comedians, that may be people who are, like, not as well known to the general public at large, but comedians know, because, like, they'll do shit to crowds that, like, God, I fucking wish I would have done that or said that, or, you know, this heckler said this and he responded this way. But Chappelle just seems to be every comedian's comedian, but everyone in the world's comedian. Like, he seems to be on kind of his own level. What do you think that is? Like, from a comics perspective, everyone thinks he's funny, but like, you see the moves behind it. Like, what is it about someone like that from, like, through your eyes? It's like, okay, this is why he's special.
Through the TrapStar's eyes?
Through the TrapStar's eyes. Through the TrapStar's eyes and sunglasses inside at night.
We're doing traps again for 8 hours, guys. I personally, watching him, I think it's because he's always present, from what I can tell. He's always in the room that he's in. Like, I've seen him in rooms of thousands of people. I've seen him in rooms of 100. And he is always in that room. Even if I've seen him do jokes that, you know, whatever, he's there. He didn't come in to be like, I'm working on this and here's what it is. He feels these people out. He's very I guess zen is lack of a better term, zen in that way. He walks in and is in that room. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like someone sneezes in the third row in the middle of the punchline. He says, "Bless you," and keeps going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the crowd can tell, oh wow, this guy's actually fully fucking present here. He's going to react to things, and he's also finding stuff in the room. And I think that's why people really connect with him, because he's also really fucking connecting with you.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
For the most part.
That's a subtlety that, like, the general public at large wouldn't be able to quantify.
It's so funny. I bet there's 10 people listening right now. They punch their steering wheel. They're like, I know that.
I knew it. I knew it. I should be a stand-up comedian. So you're on the road all summer?
Basically, yeah. I'm going to San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Houston again.
Sick. So if you're in Houston,
buddy,
buckle
I'm
up.
coming in. Let me live at your house. Winnipeg.
Oof.
I know.
It's like the Houston.
But it's gonna be in September.
Okay.
So it's
balmy. Balmy.
It's gonna be a balmy 9 degrees.
A lot of boat tattoos out there.
That's hilarious. Some guy. St. John, New Brunswick, and some other stuff. But like, website, nathanmacintosh.com, Instagram, @NathanMacintosh, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff.
WeChat. Whole 9 yards.
WeChat, Snapchat,
LinkedIn.
Uber.
Yeah, dude, you'd be the best Uber driver ever. Are you serious?
Come to your house, I'll yell stuff. Yeah.
That's what it's like following you on Instagram.
Yeah, it's a lot of yelling.
You're my favorite. You literally, like, are prioritized.
Oh, I appreciate you, man.
No, dude, it's fucking hilarious. It's been so cool to be able to watch. Like, I mean, I watched stand-up comedy my whole, like, you turn on Channel 10, which was CBC growing up, and if it wasn't Hockey Night in Canada, it was just for laugh. So, like, to see you on that and to get to know you through Akash and get to know that in, like, the comedy world, you definitely start to parse out the appreciation of, like, because I kind of feel like a comedy snob now.
Okay.
Because it's, like, in the way that, like, blonde chicks date black guys and they can say things. Like, that's fine. It's my boyfriend over here. It's, like, it's not okay. But it's, like, I could, like, parse out the differences now. Like, I feel like getting to watch you guys and know you from, like, you know, an Indian Gurdwara hot tent wedding to, like seeing you guys and your stuff on stage. It's been really cool to just like see how much work goes into it and like the depth of thought. And on the I think of it like a really expensive watch. You know, like I live in Dubai now. You ever know like Richard Mille watches? Have you seen these things?
Buddy, my mom's a cigarette. No.
Okay. That's the clip. That is the clip. They're like $1 million watches.
Sure.
Yeah, why not, right? You gotta hold on. I got it on the couch cushions here, and they're absurd, but people love them, and you can kind of understand a little bit if you had that kind of money. But the simplest thing is it tells the time, right? Like a sundial or just going outside. You could probably be within an hour. But people still pay $1 million. And it's like, if you appreciate the intricacies of it, you're like, oh, okay, this is worth it because there's 1,000 little pieces jammed into a 45 millimeter case. And it's like, dude, just check your phone. You're going to do it anyways.
But yeah, I guess to some people's degree too, they go, yeah, I could just check my phone. Yeah. But if the stock markets crash, crypto crashes, my wife leaves me for the fucking pool boy, and I don't have anything anymore, I sell my goddamn watch.
Right.
I'm back, baby.
He's in the game.
I can get any house in Winnipeg I want. That's not even true.
No, where was that place you did the oxygen mask? Where was that?
Bob Cajun.
Yeah, million goes far, Bob Cajun.
I bet it probably does. And before I forget too, because I'm talking to a man from the East Coast, I just put out I just had a show come out in Canada with it was shot in Nova Scotia in Truro with Ron James, East Coast fucking hero. Jonathan Torrance from fucking another goddamn East Coast hero from Trailer Park Boys and Letterkenny, called Trapped. And it's about me going back home to visit my mom, and I get into a fight with my old boss who tries to blackmail me into working at my old job.
Where can they find that?
Bell 5. 5 TV. Yeah,
yeah. That is as Canadian as it gets.
I know. I must have said
that's amazing.
Where can you find it? A fucking case of Alexander Keith's beer. We're giving them away.
It's a gold ticket.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So shows across North America this year. TikTok, Uber, coming to a city near you. The big giveaway is going to be you're actually going to drive someone to one of your shows. It'll be like Cash Cab.
Yeah. Comedy Cab.
Yeah. Well, dude, I appreciate you taking the time to come out. It's been a lot of fun.
This is great.
Dude, next time you're in town, we'll do it again.
Thank you, man. This is great.
Man. Appreciate it.